Welcome to Metal Gear Explained and more, aka Metal Gear Online. Seems to be getting hinted, and I wanted to showcase what is going on. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you leave a like and comment. We are giving giveaways for the game and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I want you to just look at this scene that I paused it in. What do you see? I see a regular forest. Well, it's an actual character in this game, and he looks like he's an online player because he also goes into the camo, and then there's another player. This doesn't look like AI, doesn't look like a character human AI behavior. So I'm assuming this is Metal Gear Online. Again, the keyword is assuming, and I wanted to kind of just explore the discussion about MGO. We've had the online MGO expert who's worked on previous MGO 2 and 3, and we've had him hint at online features, and we haven't got 1 inch of online features. So for me, the way this looks and the way this plays, it feels like it's gonna be an online feature. Now, could it be a co-op? Could it be anything else? You guys leave it in the comments, whatever you're thinking or you're feeling. You guys know me, I love MGO, and I'm expecting it to be MGO. And now I want to kind of take a moment and just showcase a little bit of MGO 3. And the only reason I'm showing this is because the way the visuals and the movement was, it did feel like the Phantom Pain, aka MGO 3. Now, for those that are new and coming to my channel, learning about Metal Gear Online has 3 main online versions: part 1, part 2, part 3. And then they also had a bunch of other iterations that were like for the handheld and things like that. But the point is that part 2 is the most well respected for all of the features that it had, and it had a lot of tactical aspects where it limited the player's movement in some ways. With part 3, if you see here, you can dive and do some really wild combat styles, so it's actually a lot more faster pace and more chaotic with the movement. And so with that in mind, players might love part 1 or 2 or 3 more. We're going to be getting an iteration of this game, in my opinion, which is the Phantom Pain, plus the remake gameplay mechanics. So you think about what they're doing with the remake. They changed animations, they worked on a lot of systems, and basically reworked to make the remake Delta Snake Eater. But it's also using some of this Phantom Pain mechanics and details. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a blend of some original remake elements and then some of this Phantom Pain in it. And as you can watch this trailer, and this is somewhat of a staged cinematic style gameplay clip, but the principles are still there on the dive and certain mechanics that you've seen them do. Now, having a camo suit where you can turn into a leaf or turn into the mud has never been in these games in that way for online. And so I'm curious on how advanced this is. This might not be an iteration of part 1. It'll be a whole new thing called Metal Gear Online 4. And so that is exciting because I do want the series to continue with the online. And if it's part 4, hopefully they add all of part 2's features where you can customize matches, you can play in-game tournaments and play survival, which was a mode where you get rewards by winning 5 matches in a row. A bunch of very cool elements that the game originally had. I would think the developers would say, hey, I know that people love this stuff, let's put it all back into the game. And so we're going to take a moment and just watch a new trailer and just discuss some of the gameplay, because this is somewhat gameplay footage and it is cutscenes and different elements. But the way you move in each Metal Gear is what you get for the online aspects. There's never been one that had different mechanics. So when you played Metal Gear Online 1, which was from Snake Eater, you had those mechanics. And then for part 2, you had Metal Gear Online 2, you were using part 4's gameplay mechanics. So each of the stories basically let us know what type of gameplay we would be having. As you can see right here, there's a dive from Snake. Of course, he can crouch, he can prone. Doesn't look like he's gonna, I'm sorry, he can dodge roll, not dive like the part 3. So it looks like all of these mechanics that you're seeing, of course, in their own way, will be implemented to the online aspects. So we want to carefully kind of take a look and see more or less what you're doing as a player, the way you're moving, you know, all of the different elements that make the gameplay what it is what online is going to be. And I want to kind of set that expectation because this is a fact from every single Metal Gear Online. Each of them were gameplay wise basically iterations. So just keep that in mind. So right now we're going to be watching some of this stuff. I don't think we'll be able to climb on ropes, or maybe they will put that into the game, but you can see here you're able to crouch. Of course, the box, we'll see how that works. And of course they might surprise us and just do something special. And so this is right there, that dodge is the most important thing. That's going to be what we'll be able to do. Remember, you can dodge and lay down right after. It's a mechanic that top players might use for combat when necessary, but there's a lot of different things in the original Snake Eater that I think has changed mechanically, and that's okay as long as we get a really cool experience for the story and for the multiplayer and all of that good stuff. So I personally am very much excited about this, and I wanted to take a moment to give you guys just a quick rundown on some thoughts and opinions and things that I feel should be implemented into this game as well as we go forward. Before we do that, if this was informative, if you're excited, if you want a giveaway, just leave a comment and like, and I will be selecting random people throughout the time before the game releases and just making sure you guys get a copy of the game, and then you're good to go. Now, the next topic that I'm going to be doing, and this is an important one for me personally, and if you're excited about this video, you'll probably love the next one, which is about the possibilities of what Metal Gear Online should be, what the developers should focus on, and just kind of going through a big list of what I feel the community wants. All right, so stay tuned for that. Let's go. Should be popping up on your screen, and I appreciate y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.